Brawlhalla Underworld, a serial audio drama produced and directed by Baron Dipitous, inspired by the video game Brawlhalla by Blue Mammoth Games, as well as original setting and character concepts by Akiko-sama. Episode 1: Agent Mirage on the case. Welcome to Brawlhalla Underworld. As we follow this mysterious stranger walking along certain half-deserted streets and descending into rougher, muttering retreats, I feel a brief explanation is in order. This is not the Valhalla you know and love, dear listeners. Instead, this alternative version of the Warrior's Heaven is a thriving metropolis, with all the brightness and darkness, the ruckus and stillness such a setting entails. Every legend in Odin's great army has a role to play, willingly or otherwise. In spite of the dangers inherent in any endeavor involving the Valhallan Underworld, I shall not endeavor to hold your hand for much longer. Instead, wait, hold on. Alright, he's in. No turning back now. Sit back. Relax, my friends. Maybe close your eyes if you wish, and enjoy the show. Once again, welcome.
You appear to be empty-handed.
Maybe thou shouldst pay closer attention to the movements of thy subordinates.
Our subordinates.
We are not fools. We know better than that.
True enough. There is no kidding you, is there, old sport? I suppose the situation makes things easier for us in the long run. I'm surprised you didn't get your new assistant to take care of it in your stead.
We don't trust her, sir.
Further proof that you're no fool, then.
Our new assistant may yet be the death of us.
That's your problem, ain't it?
This state of affairs seems counterintuitive, sir.
Not at all. Ever since you joined the gang, your work, your motivation, and your results have shown vast improvement.
We suspected as much.
As if you'd expect any less, given our prior arrangements.
True enough. Will that be all, sir?
Of course. Carry on, old sport, and keep up the good work.
Yes. Of course. Until next time, then.
Of all the glitzy parties and all the fancy manners and all the afterlives, he had to walk into that one. And I don't even know why I care. I'm getting distracted again. Focus, Fatima. Just think it all through, one step at a time. Okay. It all started last week, on that murky Monday night. The officer came to my door so urgently you'd think Odin's spirit was stolen. Turns out, that wasn't far from the truth, at least according to him.
Agent Mirage, are you in?
Your fellow officers seem to think so.
Don't sass me, Mirage. I was given strict orders to seek out the best private investigator in the realm and to do so as quickly as possible. This is, urgent.
So I figured. What is it?
An artifact, ma'am.
You mean you need to find another one and take it out of some old tomb?
Well...
Officer Coates, right?
Sergeant Coates, ma'am.
Right. You're the one who told me about the last artifact Odin wanted me to find. The Scythe of Horus, I believe it was. That was far more trouble than it was worth. I was hoping that would be the only time I did some dirty work for the higher-ups for a bit of cash.
You're not letting me finish, Agent Mirage.
I'll just go grab my tomb cleaning outfit.
You're missing the point.
Maybe there won't be as much sand this time.
The site has been stolen from the archives.
Excuse me?
The Valhallan archives has been broken into. We've only detected one theft, the Scythe of Horus.
I see. So it's an investigation followed by a retrieval mission?
I suppose you can put it that way.
What's Odin's offer?
Offer? You mean pay?
Naturally.
Marshal Miller asked me to assure you that, due to the apparently paramount nature of the task, you are free to name your price, but only up front. So I'm actually here to hear your offer.
Typical. A pointy bauble goes missing and suddenly Odin starts throwing blank checks at the problem.
Agent Mirage, I agree that there are far more important matters to attend to than the theft of a mysterious magical weapon. But the sad truth is, he's ultimately the one who pays my bills, and right now he's offering to pay yours. Are you taking the job or not? Well?
I'm thinking.
You're wasting my time. You know how much I detest unnecessary stalls when there's justice to be served somewhere.
But Sergeant, what about my justice? Can't a lady stop and ponder the worth of her time without getting scolded by some self-righteous officer?
Urgh.
Oh wait, you prefer to be called the Night Owl of Justice, right?
That was one time, Mirage.
Oh, and what's your heroic name going to be this week?
I actually think I've got it this time. Sentinel.
Oh, that's actually not too bad. I think you should keep it.
Really?
5,400, no less. That is my offer. You can tell that to the corp, who would tell the marshal, who would tell someone else, who would make sure it eventually reaches Odin's ears.
Okay, I resent that, Agent. It's not the Corp, it's Core, a singular officer with a name.
Fine. Relay my offer to Core then. I'll go investigate the scene.
Finally! Right this way, Agent Mirage.
I wouldn't call what I do ordinary, but any occupation has its own level of normalcy. Now that I've given myself time to think about recent events, I can truly say the moment I walked out of my office that night was the last time I ever felt normal. Odin, in all his wisdom, is quite the collector of obscure artifacts. I was surprised when he ordered me to go get the Scythe of Horus in the first place, but after exploring the archives for myself, perhaps I shouldn't have been. There were many Norse artifacts as can be expected, rusty weapons, armor, jewelry, that sort of thing. There was also the repository that held all the stone slabs and bound records. I guess I just wasn't really expecting him to have any interest in papyrus scrolls or marble sculptures, or what even appears to be lightning in a jar. That stuff isn't so Norse. Anyway, Sergeant Coates, or should I say, Sentinel, led me into the Egyptology section, where the Marshal and Corps were standing guard over an empty pedestal. I'm sure there's something poetic about that, but this was not the time for topical commentary. It was time to work for a living.
Ah, so y'all finally decided to show up, huh?
The pleasure is all mine, I'm sure.
I don't like this kind of humdrum, can-kicking howdy-do any more than you do, ma'am, but I'm afraid that there Odin was mighty insistent that this be fixed right quick. Thanks for coming anyway, ma'am. Hoping you might catch something that catches your eye, 'cause we can in all tarnation figure out who could have dared and done this devious deed.
I don't suppose you could show me what you found already?
Well, it ain't much, but, Core, show her.
Ah, so you're the Core I've heard so much about.
The one and only.
Wait, that's not what you...
Shut up, Sentinel. I'm working here. So this is a list of what you found so far, yes?
Affirmative, madam.
I'll start with things by the window, since that is likely how the thief got in. Yes, broken glass, a classic approach. 2 large black stones, perfectly round, a hole high in the wall. Wait, what?
Up there, Agent.
Oh, so it is. 1 rock for each hole. That is quite odd, isn't it? The hole up there has to be about 7 meters above the ground. Why not just keep destruction to the window?
Perhaps vandalism was also their goal.
A possibility. But all destruction was limited to this wall and the pedestal. Oh, I've seen listed fine black powder. Where is that found?
Take a gander on the outside wall, ma'am.
Sure. Ah, I see. You clearly mislabeled something on your list, Marshal.
I'm begging your pardon?
These stones are actually very large bullets.
I did tell you, Marshal, that those were not natural rocks.
This certainly narrows down the list of suspects. But let's have a closer look at the pedestal now. Okay, now this is quite unusual. Large bite marks on the stone pedestal, along with the expected broken glass case.
You're not gonna comment on the water, Agent?
I was getting to that, Sergeant. Yes, a large puddle of standing water all around the immediate vicinity of the crime scene. And that appears to be it.
Well, who do you reckon might have done this?
I'm guessing this is why you fired me, huh? I'm a bit more connected with the city, so it's likely I would know who did this and how to find them.
I don't wish to be a bother, madam, but Odin did insist on the apparent urgency of this situation.
Yes, you're right. My apologies. It's highly probable that the culprit is the madman himself.
You mean Edward Thatch?
The very same. There are many felons in the city who have a knack and hankering for wanton destruction, but I know of only one who resorts to firing multiple large bullets at once and has the ability to summon a shark made out of water.
Ah, of course. The water in the teeth marks.
But that was a rather foolish move, wasn't it? He could have easily just used another bullet or something else to break the display case instead of just leaving such an obvious telling sign like his spirit shark.
If you knew more about Thatch, you would know that he's not the type to care about that sort of thing. He clearly had a lot of fun doing this.
Now wait just a minute, Mirage. You're telling me that the raving lunatic madman of Barbados decided to have a heyday in this very room? I ain't buying that as long as I'm seeing all the other exhibits and cases intact and unharmed. This wanton destruction you're gabbing about is focused on the one wall and one case.
Which is at least, for now, the final piece of the puzzle.
Huh?
Thatch is not the brightest, but even he isn't so foolish to take on the entire Valhallan archives on his own. He must have done this under someone else's orders.
But who could possibly control Thatch? And why?
Are you really so naive, my brave Sentinel?
You can't be serious.
How familiar are you with the underworld, Sergeant? What about you, Core? Marshal Miller?
I have served enough time in that horrid slice of society. Thank you. This evidenced by the well-worn nature of my knuckles.
I've never endured it myself, but I've seen it. Its existence is the one thing about the city that truly keeps me up at night.
So you're suggesting we go into that spittoon of civilization? There ain't no way in Helheim we got the manpower to raid that place or anyone associated with it.
I'm aware, Marshal. Seems like my job is not over yet.
Agent Mirage, I assure you that we did not realize what risks you would need to take to solve this crime. If you are in need of an escort or any aggressive backup...
Oh, shut it. I suspected this very thing. A crime this big, no matter how small, can only lead you in one direction. The crime syndicates, the Valhallan Mafia. Dealing with them requires an entirely different set of skills, which fortunately for all of you, I possess. I don't know everything there is to know about those associated with organized crime, but I know enough to dig in the right places. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm off to have a chat with an important contact, and don't you worry, Sentinel. I'll put in a very good word for you.
Wait, why'd you wink at me, Mirage? Mirage? Hey!
I know this officer said this was an urgent case, but it's clear the sense of urgency only comes from Odin himself. And we all know nothing gets done quickly so long as the higher-ups are involved. I have to admit, I was a bit concerned that the underground could be involved with this, and if they were, the police, bless their hearts, would think twice about boldly strolling into their dark territory. Thankfully, boldly is not the only way I do things. I looked in my files and found the connection I was looking for. The name of the mob boss I needed to find. Vraxx. Well, if he were here, he would correct me and insist I call him Lord Vraxx, or some nonsense like that. He calls his game the Zactarian Empire, which might be a bit of a stretch since most empires I've heard of are quite a bit bigger. Regardless, that empire have a lot of connections, so much that it was easy to find several sources in my various notes confirming a wild and chaotic Thatch often aided in Vraxx's schemes to conquer the city, one blown up block at a time. Therefore, it's not Thatch I was after, but Vraxx. The hard part, of course, was getting to him, especially since he's known for being quite cutthroat, extremely quick-tempered, and very, very egotistical. Quite the triple threat. Perhaps I can catch him when he's lowered his guard. Even the most suspicious of mob bosses can't possibly keep their defenses up indefinitely, especially not one as confident as Vraxx. I have a pile of notes about the Valhallan Underworld, but admittedly not very personal contacts. Having too many threads connecting you to a spider's web will only get you into trouble, so I've been staying aloof as much as I responsibly can with my line of work. I did have one contact I could rely on though. Rather serendipitously, with someone inside the Zakhtarian Empire itself. I decided to call on her the next chance I could, which turned out to be that Wednesday. I just hope she could be persuaded to be honest with me this time.
Get in, quickly.
With pleasure.
Fatima, I know you're not a fool, but sometimes I don't think you quite appreciate how dangerous these visits are for you, no matter how seldom.
You know I can take care of myself, Nai.
It's that very confidence that concerns me.
Then let's get right into it, friend. I'm sure the Empire keeps you very busy.
What did we do this time?
Are you not aware?
The Empire is big enough that even I am not privy to all of its endeavors.
The Valhallan archives?
The Scythe of Horus.
Oh, so you do know.
It wasn't me.
There's plenty of evidence on the scene to suggest that.
You don't mean...
Could you finish that sentence for me? Please.
You know I can't.
Not even for a friend?
You should know by now that family comes before friendship around here.
How can you consider them family, Nai? What have they ever done for you?
They do enough, Fatima. I made to test them, but they give me everything I need. For my own ends.
Not everything, sister.
Oh, please, not this again.
He asked about you, you know.
Wait, what? What did he say?
I can't quite remember. Perhaps you can jog my memory by talking about the theft of the archives?
You are despicable, Fatima.
I know, and I'm waiting.
Many people had a thatched roof house where I come from.
I knew it! Boy, am I good at this.
What did he say, Fatima? Surely your memory has been properly jogged by now.
Alright, it wasn't so much what he said.
Fatima?
I said I'd put in a good word for him, and he winked. He blushed at that.
Oh my gods, we're not little girls. You tricked me.
I did not. He's into you, Nai. I may not know everything about the Empire or the rest of your underworld, but I could certainly tell you that he's a lot better of a man than any pickings you might find there. If you want him, go get him.
It's not so simple, and you know it.
If I didn't have a job to do, I would lecture you here all day until you got off your lazy skirt and talked to him.
Thank the gods for your employment.
Alright, so I knew before coming here that the Scythe would not be with Thatch, but with his boss, Vraxx.
It's Lord Vraxx.
I'm not validating that tyrant to such an undeserving title.
You assume too much.
The point is, I just need to know when he, or the Scythe, is vulnerable. No security is completely perfect. I just need one little window, one crack I can ship at. Come on, give me something to work with.
Well...
Don't make me threaten you.
As if you had anything to threaten me with.
Where else are you going to find a wing woman as good as me?
Again, you are despicable.
You're too kind. Now spill it.
First of all, we've been through this. I cannot expose the vulnerabilities of my boss or the Empire.
But, come on, there's always one of those.
I think I might stay home this weekend.
Nai, stop changing the subject.
Shut up and listen to me. For once in your afterlife, I'm going to stay home this weekend. I don't think I can handle another one.
Another what?
Another fancy party.
Ooh, do tell.
It just really isn't my thing, so this invitation is going to go to waste. Unless...
I'll take it. Golly, I love parties. I know just what I'm going to wear. Oh, I wish we were going together. We could be the queens of the dance floor and the envy of every jealous eye in the room.
Tell that to Sidra. Here's the invitation. It's this weekend, hosted by the Empire at Volkov Manor.
Volkov? He lets Vraxx...
Lord Vraxx.
He lets Vraxx lord over him. I thought Volkov was more powerful than that.
He is, well, not exactly. Ugh, no, there are 2 empires.
2?
I'm part of the Zaktorian Empire, led by Lord Vraxx, and Volkov is the head of a different gang, the Batavian Empire. He and Lord Vraxx are bitter but equal rivals. They actually take turns hosting these ginormous soirees just to show off their wealth and power to the rest of the underworld. Very lavish affairs that often last until sunrise. Most of the Mafia are going to be there, so it could be an opportunity for you to become more acquainted with this part of the city without the risk of direct association.
This is great. This will do wonders for my job. Plus, I just can't get over the fact that I get to dress up for this. I've been waiting for ages for a chance to show off my new dress. I don't get many chances to dress up like this, you know.
I know. So make the most of it.
Oh, I will. I definitely will. Oh, but I can't just walk in there by myself, right? I'd be a new face in a dangerous crowd. Don't I need a chauffeur, an escort or something?
You catch on quick. Yes, I will arrange a chauffeur and an escort. I'm sure my butler won't mind.
Girl, you have a butler?
What can I say? I was a queen in my last life, and keeping a few loyal servants has proven to be very helpful in this life.
Is he cute?
I think there's just enough of an age gap there that would allow you to do all the flirting you want with more attractive gentlemen. Just remember, no connections. Our friendship is dangerous enough as it is.
I know. I'll just use a different name and change my makeup a little. Neither Fatima nor Agent Mirage would exist at this fancy shindig.
Good. Will that be all then?
I guess so. This is amazing, Nai.
Don't mention it. Seriously.
Your secret's safe with me.
It better be, Fatima.
It's been so lovely to chat with you again. We should do this more often.
We really shouldn't.
We'll just have to find some other way to help you get you, man.
Fatima.
Alright, I'm going. I'll be waiting to hear from your butler then.
Count on it.
Nai is such a sweetheart. So sad she has to be caught up in all that underworld nonsense. Still, it's nice to have a good friend on the inside, no matter how secretive. I may not get all the answers I want from her, but I always get just what I need. I wonder if she'll be interested in this protection program. That will certainly afford her some more chances to have some lovely chat with Sergeant Cut. Come to think of it, Sentinel is a really cool nickname for him. Anyways, my big debut among the kings and queens of crime will begin. Well, should I say, not Fatima's debut, but that of a rather attractive, charming lady who shall be named, Sabika Price. That's it. Watch out, Underworld. You're not ready for the beautifully perfect storm that is the mysterious Miss Price.
That concludes the first episode of Brawlhalla Underworld, a fan-made serial audio drama produced and directed by Baron Dipitous, inspired by the video game Brawlhalla by Blue Mammoth Games, as well as original setting and character concepts by Akiko-sama, which are being used for this project with Akiko's consent. This episode starred Zelko and Maya as the two gentlemen in the prologue, MirageBHH as Agent Mirage, Sir KFC as Sergeant Henry Coates or Sentinel, Starry as Marshal Cassidy Miller, Kosolix as Officer Core, and Toniko as Nai. Special thanks to Captain Moneybags and Pet Hyena for assistance with writing and characterizations, to Daevon971 for providing story assistance and for his role as art lead, and to Darth Mimi for assistance with audio cleanup. The artwork for this episode was a joint effort by Akiko-sama, Cosminie, Cyan, Daevon971, Maria, Tataya Furkim, and Tolsquish. The music playing during this episode's intro was The Twilight Grove VBI Discussion, arranged by LeBruskii. The music playing during these credits was composed by Catfoodinator. Be sure to check out Brawlhalla Underworld on Amino, Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter at Brawl Underworld or Brawlhalla Underworld for more information and some behind-the-scenes content, such as concept art and interviews with the cast and crew. Cast and crew social media links, as well as additional music credits, are listed in this video's description. To conclude, please enjoy this teaser for the next episode.
It will take more than a different name and a fancy deportment to keep your true identity safe. Do you have a story for your chosen alias? You'll be in contact with many dangerous people, you know.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week in the Valhallan Underworld.